Let me tell you, there's nothing quite like thinking you're just a kid with a first-class ticket then having a grown man in a tailored suit tell you it means nothing because of how you look. That's exactly how it went down for me, Jamal Johnson, on what should have been a normal flight to San Francisco. But turned out to be the day my two worlds, one quiet and brilliant, the other rich and ruthless, collided at 30,000 feet, right in front of a plane full of strangers. Now, before you get too comfortable, just ask yourself if ever had someone look at you and decide, right then and there, what you can't be. Maybe you laughed it off, maybe it stung. For me, it started with a guy named Maxwell Whitfield, a flight attendant named Heather Wallace, in a seat that wasn't just mine by ticket, but by principle. But let me back up a sec. You got to see how a chess game like this even gets started. See, I wasn't your average 15-year-old. While most of my friends at South Chicago Public spent their weekends blowing through levels on the latest game or roasting each other in group chats, I was holed up at home with a battered old laptop, writing lines of code that ended up changing the way airlines did business. All because my mom, Kesha, worked double shifts as a nurse and hated getting stranded by delays on flights to visit grandma. I figured, why not fix it? And a science fair project turned into a headline-making algorithm that outperformed the airline industry's best by nearly 40%. Before I'd even grown a mustache, I was fielding emails from VCs. Andre Williams, a guy with a Tesla and no time for nonsense, wrote the first check, $2 million to help build SkyLogic, my all-in-one aviation management system. And when Aero Global, America's third-largest airline, offered me billions and a seat at the grown-ups table, well, that's how you end up a billionaire with a company, an airline, and a trust fund, all before you're old enough to vote. Still, my mom never let it go to my head. She made sure I finished my homework, hung out with the same crew from middle school, and reminded me that money changes options, not people. I kept my life quiet, same house, same high school, nothing flashy. I walked to school, ace my tests, go to basketball practice, then come home and run meetings with men who owned skyscrapers. Weekends, I'd swap hoodies for blazers, flying out of conferences to talk AI with execs who thought I was someone's intern until I opened my mouth. So picture this. It's a Friday in late May. I just finished finals, caught a ride with my friend to O'Hare, and I'm bored of my flight to San Francisco for Tech Future Conference running on caffeine, adrenaline, and a borrowed hoodie from the math team. I hand my first-class ticket to the gate agent, who doesn't even look up, just scans it and waves me on like I'm invisible. Honestly, that's how I prefer it. Flying under the radar, literally. As I step onto the plane, I see the flight attendants sizing me up, Heather Wallace included. She's got that look, you know the one. Like, are you lost, honey? Only, I'm not lost. I'm headed for 2A, and nobody in first class is expecting to see a kid like me settle in. So when I get to my seat and see Maxwell Whitfield, all buttoned up and sipping champagne, it's not exactly a shock. What's new is how he doesn't even blink before claiming my spot like it's owed to him. "Excuse me, sir. I think you might be in my seat," I say, polite as can be. Maxwell looks me over like he's reading a menu and not liking what he sees. "No, this is my seat," he says. Doesn't even check his ticket. Now, most folks might have just moved on, but I stood my ground. Held out my boarding pass. Even suggested he check his own. That's when Heather walks up, smile tight as fishing line, and instead of looking at our tickets, she tells me maybe I read mine wrong and should go sit in economy. You ever have the whole room turn on you quiet like, but you can feel the judgment in the air? Some lady in row 3 whispers, "How'd he get a first-class ticket, anyway?" Someone else mumbles about kids wanting special treatment. Maxwell, smug as ever, sips his drink and makes it clear thinks I don't belong. And that's the thing about growing up black in America, you learn the script early. I'd seen it in restaurants, stores, classrooms. My mom taught me to keep my cool, never let them see you sweat. So I took a deep breath, told Heather I'd sit elsewhere, and let her lead me past every staring eye in that plane, all the way to the last row of economy. Middle seat, right in front of the bathroom, wedged between 2 armrest hogs. Now, if you think the story ends there, you don't know me or my playbook. As soon as Heather strutted back to first, I pulled out my phone. Doors were still open, so I fired off 3 messages. One to Tyler Brooks, my executive assistant. One to Patricia, our chief of ops, and a third to my legal counsel. Subject, Code Bluebird. Seat issue. Immédiate intervention. Then I sat back and waited, remembering my mom's words from years ago. Your success will be your loudest statement. One day, you'll own the building they say you don't belong in. Well, maybe not the building, but the plane? That I owned. Next thing I know, ground crew outside is buzzing. Pilots get an urgent message. Hold at gate, don't push back. Passengers are getting antsy, checking their phones, wondering what's up. Heather gets on the intercom, tells everyone there's a technical issue. Maxwell complains about his meeting. Meanwhile, 3 Aero Global execs in sharp suits storm the jetway and board the plane looking like the Avengers on a customer service mission. Benjamin Carter, the regional director, heads straight for first class, whispers something in Heather's ear that drains all the color from her face. Then, while the cabin goes dead silent, he turns to Maxwell and asks real quiet, but real firm to see his boarding pass. Maxwell tries to play it off. The kid didn't mind moving, he says. But Benjamin isn't having it. Actually, sir, the delay is due entirely to this situation. At the same time, Amanda Reyes from Customer Relations finds me in row 22. Mr. Johnson, would you come with me? She says, voice soft but urgent. By the time I reach the front, Benjamin lays it out for the whole cabin. This kid, as you call him, is Jamal, John Zona VIP and major stakeholder in Aero Global Airlines. Maxwell's jaw drops. Passengers start whispering. Phones come out. Someone in row 3 Googles me and gasps. Oh my God, you're that Jamal Johnson. Suddenly, I'm not the out-of-place kid anymore. I am the news. And just like that, the story goes viral. Social media lights up. Seat justice, black billionaire disrespected, airline scandal. My phone is blowing up with messages from PR, from my mom. Are you okay? Even from the CEO himself. Maxwell starts stammering, tries to apologize, but I finally speak up, voice calm, but clear as day. The seat belonged to me regardless of who I am. That's it. Truth hits harder than any headline. Benjamin gives Maxwell a choice. Move to your assigned seat, or get off the plane. While he's still huffing, the aircraft door opens again and in walks Thomas Reynolds, the CEO, abandoning his private jet to settle this himself. He shakes my hand, apologizes in front of everyone, then tells Maxwell and Heather they're both off the flight. This is not a discussion, he says, voice like a gavel. So Heather, who tried to disappear into the wall, leaves in tears. Maxwell, pale as the clouds outside, finally slinks to his real seat. As I settle into 2A, a round of applause ripples through the cabin. I just put on my headphones, not wanting to bask in it, but not wanting to hide either. That boundary between my public and private life? Yeah, it's gone. Then this little girl, a young black kid, maybe 12, comes up to me. You're my hero, she says. I'm learning to code, too. And for a second, all the headlines and viral hashtags fall away. Keep going, I tell her. The world needs your ideas. As we finally take off, the cabin's mood flips. The same folks who watched me get dismissed now nod respectfully. Even a white businessman in 3B leans over and quietly apologizes for not speaking up. Thank you for saying that. I tell him, and I mean it. My mom texts me, you handled it with grace just like I taught you. I'm proud of you. And for the first time that day, I let myself feel proud too, not because of the money or the headlines, but because I'd stood up without losing my cool. But the world doesn't move on as quick as a plane. Social media is still on fire. Some folks cheer me for standing up. Others grumble about privileged billionaires grounding a plane. But the point isn't the seat, it's how quick people are to judge based on what they see, not what they know. That's America, right? Assumptions stacked higher than carry-ons. By the time we land, news crews are everywhere. Aero Global rolls out a new bill of rights for passengers. Heather's apology video makes the round suspended, but allowed back if she completes bias training. Maxwell, well, he gets fired by his firm for damaging their reputation. Me, I end up speaking at the conference, not just about AI, but about how these small moments add up, how we all have a part in building systems that treat people right. 6 months later, I'm back home, standing in a community center in South Chicago. I've started a foundation for young tech innovators, kids like me, who just need someone to open a door. My mom runs it, and she's never looked prouder. Even Maxwell shows up, quieter, humbler, wanting to help. We sit and talk, awkward at first, then real. He's been volunteering, using his business skills for good, changed by the fallout from that flight. I don't know if we'll ever be friends, but I believe in second chances, as long as they come with real change. That old house where I learned to code, it's now a place where kids can come after school and dream bigger than their zip code. The neighborhood still calls me Jamal from down the street, and honestly, that feels better than any headline. Next time I board a flight, people know who I am, but the staff just treat me like anyone else see a ticketed passenger. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all I ever wanted. And when I see another kid, nervous but hopeful, settling into his first-class seat, I smile and think maybe the world's moved an inch. Maybe a door is just a little wider. So yeah, it started with a stolen seat, but it became a story about dignity, power, and the responsibility to turn your own struggle into someone else's hope. The lesson? Dignity isn't about money or headlines. It's about how you respond when the world tells you not here, not you. You get to decide if you'll shrink or stand up, if you'll fight for just yourself or for everyone after you. Let me ask you, have you ever been underestimated or realized you made the wrong call about someone based on looks alone? Drop your story in the comments. And if you believe in fighting for your seat at the table, hit like, share this with someone who needs it, and stick around for more. Change starts with awareness, grows with action, and sticks when we hold each other accountable. So until next time, keep claiming your seat and make sure the door stays open behind you.